Wu Lei. For many years, his name has carried a very specific meaning in Chinese entertainment. Not controversy, not gossip, not spectacle. Simply an actor. An actor who grew up in front of the camera, step by step without shortcuts. An actor whose career unfolded quietly, without sudden explosions of attention fueled by scandal. An actor who rarely invited curiosity about his private life because there was so little for the public to speculate about. And that is precisely why what happened next felt so unsettling. Because when Wu Lei's name suddenly surged across social media overnight, it was not connected to a new project, a public appearance, or a professional milestone. It was pulled into a wave of online discussion that had nothing to do with his work, and everything to do with rumor. The first reaction from many people was not outrage, but disbelief. Why Wu Lei? Why now? And how did someone known for staying far away from controversy become the center of one? Wu Lei's career has always moved at a measured pace. He entered the industry as a child, learned under constant public observation, and transitioned into adult roles with caution rather than urgency. In an environment where visibility often depends on constant exposure, he chose restraint. He spoke less than his peers, shared less than others, and allowed his work to define him. Over time, this created a rare public image. Wu Lei was familiar, but not overexposed. Recognized, but not consumed by speculation. He was not a figure people followed for drama. He was someone people trusted to deliver consistency. That trust was built over years, not moments, which made the sudden shift all the more striking. It began quietly, almost imperceptibly. Anonymous social media accounts published posts written in deliberately vague language. The wording hinted at personal matters, suggested impropriety, and relied heavily on implication rather than assertion. There were no photos, no videos, no documents, no verifiable details. Just suggestion. Yet in the ecosystem of social media, suggestion is often enough. Within hours, these posts were shared, commented on, and reframed. Wu Lei's name was detached from its usual context and reinserted into conversations filled with uncertainty. The absence of concrete information did not slow the spread. In fact, it seemed to accelerate it. Ambiguity became fuel. For longtime observers of Wu Lei, the experience was disorienting. This was not a figure accustomed to public disputes. There was no established narrative of excess, no history of reckless behavior for rumors to attach themselves to. And perhaps that absence created a vacuum. When people know very little about a public figure's private life, imagination rushes in to fill the gaps. Silence, once a shield, becomes an invitation for speculation. As the online noise grew louder, Wu Lei himself did nothing. No statement, no clarification, no reaction. In the age of instant responses, this absence was impossible to ignore. Some interpreted it as composure. Others saw it as distance. But the longer the silence lasted, the more the conversation shifted away from the rumors themselves and toward the man at the center of them. What kind of person remains silent while their name is being discussed everywhere? Was it confidence? Was it strategy? Or was it simply consistency? At this stage, the situation had reached a critical point. The discussion was no longer confined to fringe spaces. It had moved into broader public awareness, creating a sense of anticipation rather than escalation. People were waiting, not for more rumors, but for direction. That direction arrived late at night. Wu Lei's management studio released an official statement, and with it, the tone of the entire conversation changed. The statement was brief, controlled, and precise. It clearly stated that the circulating claims were fabricated and lacked any factual basis. But the most notable aspect was not the denial itself. It was the framing. There was no emotional appeal, no personal plea, no attempt to influence public sentiment. Instead, the language was legal. The studio confirmed that all relevant online content had been collected, preserved, and notarized as evidence. It stated that formal legal action had been initiated, and emphasized that the matter would not be resolved through private discussion or compromise. This was not a message designed to calm emotions. It was a message designed to set boundaries. The implication was unmistakable. This was no longer a topic for public debate, speculation, or viral commentary. It was now a matter of procedure. Throughout this shift, Wu Lei himself remained silent, and that silence began to feel different. After the statement, the online atmosphere noticeably changed. Conversations slowed, the tone softened. Calls for restraint grew louder. Many users urged others to stop spreading unverified claims and wait for official developments. Attention moved away from the rumors and toward the response itself. The speed of it, the clarity of it, the refusal to engage emotionally. In an industry where crisis responses often rely on public sympathy or narrative manipulation, this approach stood out. It did not ask for belief, it asked for time. Wu Lei did not appear online to defend himself. He did not offer a personal explanation. Instead, he allowed the framework he had built over years to carry weight. For some, this reinforced what they already believed, that his career had always been defined by discipline rather than impulse. For others, it offered a reminder that not every controversy requires a performance. The incident began to reveal something deeper about the modern entertainment environment. In a digital landscape where information spreads faster than verification, the loudest voices often dominate early narratives. But volume does not equal truth, and speed does not guarantee accuracy. Wu Lei's case demonstrated a different approach. Rather than racing to control the narrative, the response focused on controlling the process. Rather than feeding the cycle of reaction and counter-reaction, it introduced structure. And rather than relying on public opinion to settle the matter, it deferred to systems designed to do exactly that. As days passed, the absence of escalation became its own signal. The rumors did not evolve. No evidence surfaced. The initial noise slowly lost momentum. What remained was reflection. Reflection on how quickly a reputation can be tested. Reflection on how fragile perception can be in an attention-driven economy. And reflection on how restraint, once seen as passive, can function as strength. Wu Lei's silence was no longer empty. It was contextual. For someone who had spent his entire career letting work speak louder than words, this response aligned with everything that came before. He did not reinvent himself in crisis. He did not abandon the principles that shaped his public image. He stayed consistent. The situation is still ongoing, and official conclusions have yet to be finalized. But even without an endpoint, the incident has already illustrated something important. In an age of constant exposure, control matters. In a space driven by reaction, patience matters. And in a culture obsessed with immediacy, waiting can be powerful. Wu Lei did not step forward to claim innocence with emotion. He did not fight speculation with spectacle. He allowed structure, evidence, and time to do their work. And in doing so, he reminded the public of something that often gets lost amid the noise. Silence is not always avoidance. Sometimes it is intention.